Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you new here, welcome. My name is Amber and I'm a practicing attorney in Ontario, California. As many of you guys know, the California bar is coming up. And so I'm just getting on here and making this video to give you guys some tips and some helpful tools to help you guys pass the bar. As someone who has recently taken the bar and passed on their first try, I just wanted to, pass down what I learned or what I wish I knew and give it to you guys that are about to tackle this notorious bar. And by no means am I an expert, am I a bar greeter, any of those things. Really the only thing that qualifies me to make this video is because I have recently passed the bar. And hopefully with these tips, take what works for you, but hopefully as you hear this, you'll take from it and it'll hopefully just ease your mind and see a little bit. I know that's asking a lot for you guys because this time it's very hectic as a 3L. You have graduation pictures, graduation announcement, prepare for graduation finals, and some of you guys haven't even taken the MPRE yet. So trust me, I've been there. I know how you're feeling. But yeah, let me stop rambling and let's get right into this video. So first, I want to start off by saying congratulations. Give yourself a round of applause. You are about to graduate law school. Not everybody gets to this moment. Law school was definitely a jealous mistress, took away from your social life, sleep. I know you had to sacrifice a lot to get to this moment, and this journey is definitely not easy. So congratulations 3L, whoever you are out there. I am super proud of you for getting to this moment. And law school is already a beast on its own, and now you're about to get out here and take the California bar, which is just on a whole nother level. So just go ahead and congratulate yourself. Like, seriously, you deserve it. And congratulations. So tip number one is to be intentional with your study materials. And I say this because there's a lot of bar study materials out there, and you can you will get overwhelmed with trying to dip and dabble in all the material, and it can just become jumbled up and everything. So I say this by saying be intentional with your study materials. It will keep you organized and everything. Once you have a routine going, it definitely will help. So I'm going to share what bar materials that I use and what was helpful for me, and then you can take what you want. So I'm going to start off with Themis. I love Themis. Themis was always my go-to. There's so many bar prep companies out there. You have Barbie, Themis, Kaplan, Studicata, Bar Max, just One Sheets, JD Advising, just throwing those that I can remember from the top of my head. But I'm a firm believer of always going with what worked for you in law school. So if you were a Barbie baddie and that got you through law school, helped you pass all your exams, I would stick with that during bar prep. If you're a Kaplan cutie, same thing, and vice versa. Just, do what works for you. But for me, I was definitely a Themis Thundercat. Like, that was my ride or die. It helped me, and so I knew that during bar prep, that was definitely going to be the company that I stuck with, and I'm glad that I did. So definitely Themis, I love that. One of the reasons why I love Themis was UWorld, and I'm going to get to that a little bit later, but Themis came with UWorld. The videos were also shorter. I don't know if you guys have short attention spans like me, but I cannot sit here and watch a 3-hour video. Yeah, I just can't sit there and watch a video like for that long. I will hop on my phone and do other things, and so I did like that Themis videos were so much shorter and I could just jump right into the video and move on. So there's that. And also Themis was actually the cheapest, from what I remember from the top of my head, was one of the cheapest like mainstream bar prep programs, and so I love that. That was chef kiss, especially for law school is already expensive as it is. We don't need to be dishing out more money like that. So definitely Themis was the cheapest. And so that's why I stuck with Themis, and go Themis. I'm always going to read for them. So I'm going to quickly go through the bar study materials that I use besides Themis. I used the Magic One sheets. I also used ooh, they're heavy. I also used Critical Pass flashcards. Definitely another holy grail staple for me that I loved. And I even went and took the time and did like the 3-hole punch, and I would usually use these when I was like, you know, didn't want to look at the videos or just trying to refresh my memory. If I was like running errands or doing something that I needed to do, I would take these with me and just review, and they were pretty helpful. So I do love the Critical Pass flashcards. I do have the bar essay flashcards as well. I also want to give an honorable mention to John Grossman. He makes the adaptive bar videos, and he will literally teach you how to just shut up and pick it. Just shut up and pick it. Pick the answer that has the law. He has all the lecture videos. If you just need another affirmative or another reiteration on topics that you're just not getting or it's just not clicking to you, his videos were just so informative, and I encourage everybody out there to go look at his videos. I forgot to mention Reddit. Reddit surprisingly was definitely something that I relied on as well. It's just like this whole community of people that are going through the same thing as you, and it becomes like a little family. Everyone's giving tips, people are asking questions. Definitely use Reddit. I will say that, you know, just if you need to like vent or just talk to somebody, Reddit was definitely a best friend, and also had helpful material. People were more than like ready to like give you tips, give words of encouragement, and just help you out. So Reddit definitely was something that was definitely the underdog. Like definitely was the underdog to me. My second tip for you guys is to definitely set up a schedule. I know you guys will be like, well duh Amber, of course I want to have a schedule, but I promise you it gets very easy to get overwhelmed and get sidetracked and just jump all over the place. So definitely set up a schedule, and this kind of goes hand in hand with being intentional with your study materials. I promise you, if you have a schedule, it will be amazing for you. So I'm gonna give you guys my schedule. I'm gonna be looking down at my phone because I don't remember from the top of my head, but I just wanna, you know, so I would get up, do my personal care, and then I would do 25 MBE questions in the morning. Off tops, just do 25 to see, just to gauge where I'm at and just to get my mind running. And then from there, for about 2 hours, however long it takes me, I try to do no more than like 3 hours, I would watch the video lectures and do the reading outlines at the same time. So with Themis, you'll watch your videos and then it had like fill in the blank, so you were following along. So I would do that, and then afterwards, by that time, hopefully it's lunch, so I would eat lunch, and I would give myself an hour and a half. I would go outside, walk. That's when I would, like, if other people were out socializing that were also taking the bar, I would socialize with them, so I would do that. And then from there, I would watch the video lectures for the MEE, or the essay portion. So I would watch that and I would finish that, and then I would, you know, get up, get dinner, stretch, give myself a break because I've been sitting there the entire time. And then after that, after I'm done with dinner, I would do an essay or two, you know, just to make sure I'm retaining the information for what I learned earlier that day. And then I would grade myself, compare my answers to the answers that were the STAR example. So I would do that, and then afterwards, from there, I would just chill out for a little bit, maybe like 30 minutes, an hour, and just chill. And then that night again, hopefully by I want to say like maybe 7 the latest, I would do another 25 MBE questions, and then from there I would stop. That would be my ideal schedule that I was following in the beginning. And then after that, I started, like, you know, staying up at night, going over material that I did not finish or I didn't understand. Sometimes I would be up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and don't be like me. Don't do that. Give yourself a break. So tip number 3 would be to do tons and tons of NBE questions. And I say this because the NCBE can only ask you so many questions in so many different ways. So the more questions that you're exposed to, the easier it will, like, you'll be able to catch in, like, oh, I remember they asked a similar question like this. I know like what they're trying to get at. So by the end of your bar prep course, by the time you're like winding down and going to take the bar in a couple of days, you should have done over 2,000 NBE questions, like more than 2,000. And so I know earlier I had mentioned that Themis had UWorld. So many of you guys know you have UWorld and you have AdaptaBar. AdaptaBar is a little bit more known. However, again, another advocate for UWorld, and UWorld, I gravitated towards that more because I did have both. I gravitated towards UWorld a little bit more because I'm a visual learner, and so I don't know if you guys are visual out there. Like, you could tell me things, but I get to see some pictures. I need some concrete pictures, graphics, and it definitely reinforced it. And then on top of that, it also allowed you to pick the subject that you want to focus on. So for instance, if you wanted to focus on contracts, but only wanted to focus on formation of contract, you could literally click contracts, and then there was a subheading that said, like, had like the mini breakdowns, like formation, and you could pick formation. But with the AdaptaBar, you couldn't do that. And so I just liked how UWorld was a little bit more flexible, a little bit more modern, and had like the pictures and things like that. This is no diss to AdaptaBar. Some people loved AdaptaBar, but it just wasn't for me. And the things that I mentioned with UWorld was one of the reasons why I gravitated towards UWorld than AdaptaBar. Now we're jumping back on track. Yes, doing tons of NBE questions and getting exposed to NBE definitely is there. Okay, tip number 4, and this kind of goes with study materials, but I felt like this was super important to have its own category because this definitely helped me, and it definitely will help you if you are not a strong writer. BarEssay.com is a unique and valuable study tool, and I say this because it has all the past California bar essays on there. It's like a database where you can go and look up any subject, contracts, property, torts. It gives you real essays and performance tests. So for instance, as you start doing more essays, and I kind of got over, like, you know, doing essays, but this was towards like the end, maybe like 2-3 weeks left. I started just looking at essays, seeing and I only looked at 60s and above. I didn't look at 50s, 45, none of that, because I knew, I was like, I need to get a passing score. So I would only look up 16 up, and I would just read them, see how they answered. And I was like, oh, okay, I see. Like, you will be shocked to see what a 65 is. So it was definitely like a relief to say, okay, like, you don't need to be like and also, please don't get hung up on trying to show them your best writing. You have like 30 seconds to a minute to show these bar graders what you're capable of and what you're all about. So like how I said before, like, I would just jump right into it, like, this is a battery because blah 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 blah. And I always use, like, you know, keywords that, you know, that stood out, because these bar graders are reading thousands and thousands, and they're skimming through them. So make sure, like, you get to the root of the issue as quickly as possible. Be thorough, but be quick. And I definitely was, you know, mimicking off people's essays. I'm like, oh, I like that. Like, I like how they responded to that, or I liked how they answered that question. Bar Essays is a valuable tool. You do have to pay for it. Please ask family, friends, loved one, boyfriends, girlfriends, fiancés, husbands, mom, dad, pop, uncle, aunt, help you. Just help you get BarEssays.com, because I promise you, you will not regret it, especially for the California bar. Tip number 5 would be to not listen to the predictions. I say don't look at the predictions because obviously we're all curious to see what's going to be tested, or you know, oh my god, this subject hasn't been tested in such a long time. So I would say, let me not say don't read them, look at them, take note of it, but go back to studying all subjects. Don't solely rely on, oh, these are the predictions, this is what's gonna like be tested, because it's not always accurate. Again, it's just prediction. It's definitely a toss-up. Like, these bar graders will literally throw anything and everything. So like, for example, they had tested corporations in February, and I think in July prior. So I'm like, oh, they're not going to test like a specific, that, you know, corporations, that California subject. Again, they got to switch it up. They tested corporations. So I say that to say, learn from me. Don't look at the predictions and don't rely on them. Okay, sixth number tip. Did you guys just hear that? What? Tip number 6 would be to feel free to stray away from your study schedule. And I know you're like, what? Like, that's not what you just said earlier. You said stick to a schedule. Yes, I did say that. And of course, early on in your bar course, stick to your schedule. You want to make sure that you're learning as much material as you can. Staying on that will help you get there. But as you're maybe midway, or you know, almost like the bar is like a month away or a month and a half away, it's okay to like stray away from your study material. Because like, for example, like as the bar was nearing for me, I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna watch these lecture videos. I'm not gonna answer like the questions in between or whatever. I just need to get through the material and learn it, and from there I can figure it out like for myself. So it got to a point where I stopped doing like the practice questions that Themis was throwing at me, or the practice essays. I was like, that's not necessary right now. What I need to do is learn the material, learn through the videos, start memorizing, and then just doing questions on AdaptiveBar or UWorld, more so UWorld than AdaptiveBar. Feel free to stray away. If you notice that the lectures aren't working for you and you learn better with just reading the outline, do that. Over time, things will start to make sense and mesh, but in the beginning, I will say stick with the schedule. But towards the end, go ahead and stray away from that schedule and start doing what works for you and what helps you learn more and overall get the material. So this is my last tip to you. It's not much of a tip, but I just think it needs to be said. Take care of yourself. This definitely is a rough time in your life. 3 long months of your life dedicated that's going to be on pause. Please take care of yourself. This doesn't mean you need to go full throttle and just, you know, forget the outside life, forget what makes you happy. Like, no, still do those things, but with the limitation. So if you know, like, you have a wedding to attend or a baby shower or any family event that you know it's important to you and you really want to be there, go ahead and take that day off and, you know, just do what makes you happy. Take care of yourself. If some days you don't want to, if a day that you don't want to study, listen to yourself because you don't want to be burned out. Go ahead and take that day off. I can say I took a good like 5 days off, and I wish I would have did more, but because I was just so hard on myself, I didn't. But definitely take that day off. Go ahead and go to that 4th of July barbecue, or go ahead and go home and see your family. If that's what you need, do that, because at the end of the day, your sanity, your mental and your physical health is very important, and you definitely need to be mentally sound, physically okay to take that bar exam. I know it's taxing on your body, and I just want to know, as somebody who took it, my advice to you, go ahead and you know, have your self-care days. Just taking a simple break because you need it. Trust me, been there, done that, and I wish I would have taken more. Alright guys, that brings me to the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed my tips and they were useful for you, and hopefully you're able to apply them and, you know, works out for you too. Remember to be kind to yourself, be gentle, and show yourself some grace. You are learning a lot of information in a short period of time, and I know it can be like exhausting, daunting, but you are more than capable of this. If you're able to get through law school, you're more than capable of passing the bar. You just need to put in the work. It's just a temporary time in your life where everything needs to be on hold, but I promise you it will be worth it in the end. Put in the work, put in the time, and you will pass the bar exam. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below, leave something. I'm more than happy to help you. And again, good luck. Good luck, good luck. You got this, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.